Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to Sowkya Vision. Today we are going to deal about erythrocyte. These are the red blood cells. Yes, the red blood cells are anucleated, means which is absence of nucleus. Yes, these are red in color, hence known as red blood cells. This red color is due to the presence of what? A coloring pigment known as hemoglobin. The hemoglobin is a coloring pigment which adds red color to the cells, and now these are the larger number compared to other number of cells. See, blood containing different cells like RBC cell, red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets. So compared to other cells, these RBCs are in large number. Yes, let's see the normal count of the RBC. The RBC ranges about 4 to 5.5 million per cubic mm. Yes, unit is very important when you are mentioning any range or normal count. Yes, the normal count of RBCs in adult human is about 4 to 5.5 million per cubic mm. And now, what is the average RBC count in males? It is about 5 millions per cubic mm or deciliter of blood. In females, it is about 4.5 to 5 millions per cubic mm or deciliter. Now let's see the morphology of the RBC. What is the shape of RBC? Yes, it is a biconcave. It is two sides concave. So it is a biconcave shape. In order it has a biconcave shape, it has some features or it has some benefits as it containing biconcave morphology. What is the features? What are the advantages of having biconcavity? Yes, it helps in equal and rapid diffusion of oxygen. As we know, the blood RBC containing hemoglobin, they carry oxygen. Yes, they carry oxygen. So the biconcavity of the RBC helps in equal and rapid diffusion of oxygen. Yes, and another feature, large surface area. As it is a biconcave, it contains large surface area. Why? For the absorption or removal of substances. Yes, to absorb or remove the any substance in the cell. These help in easy process. Yes. Now another feature, as it is biconcave, it can squeeze easily. The RBC can squeeze easily in order to pass through the capillaries. Yes, it is a biconcave shape. It can squeeze easily so that it can pass through the capillaries easily. And what is the diameter of RBC? It is about 7 to 7.2 micrometers. Yes, it is about 7 to 7.2 micrometers. Now let's see what is the normal structure of RBC. Yes, as I said, it contains absence of nucleus, so non-nucleated. The cells which do not contain nucleus is known as prokaryotic cells. Yes, hence it is does not contain nucleus, so there is no chromosomal matter and there is no DNA. So DNA is absent. And now, along with these, the organelles like mitochondria, reticulum, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus are also absent. So without these organelles, there is no matter of energy processing. Yes. So how the RBC produce its energy? The energy in the RBC is produced by glycolytic process. Yes, the energy is produced by glycolytic process. And now let's see the properties of RBC. There are four main properties of RBC. They are Rolex formation, specific gravity, packed cell volume, and suspension stability. What is Rolex formation? Rolex formation, it is a property of RBC in which the RBC one on other pile up like a coins of pile up of a coin. They pile up on one on each other and forming a Rolex. Yes, it is a property of RBC. Next, specific gravity. The specific gravity of RBC is 1.09 to 1.1. Yes, it is something from 1.09 to 1.1. And what is packed cell volume? It is also known as hematocrit value. Yes, it is the percentage of RBC in the blood. Yes, it contains 45% of blood and 55% of plasma. Yes, And suspension stability. What is the suspension stability? It is the ability, it is the capacity of the RBC in order to suspend in the flowing plasma, flowing blood. Yes, these are the four main properties. What are they? Rolex formation, specific gravity, packed cell volume, and suspension stability. These are four main properties of the red blood cells. Yes, let's see the fate of RBC. So, what is the fate of RBC? As we know, the lifespan of RBC is 120 days. Yes, after reaching 120 days, or the senile RBC which became old, the RBC which became old, or the RBC which are senile, which are old, they enter into spleen to destruct. Yes, the lifespan is completed, the work of each RBC. After attaining 21 days, after surviving 21 days, they enter into spleen. Yes, after entering into spleen, the RBC releases, destruction of RBC takes place. So, destruction of RBC releases hemoglobin. Yes, as I said, RBC containing hemoglobin which gives the red color pigment to the cell. So, this hemoglobin is released from the RBC after entering into the spleen. Yes, this hemoglobin is again divided, is destructed into three main parts. What are they? Iron, globulin and porphyrin. These three parts, iron, globulin and porphyrin, are released from the hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is break down into three. So here the iron along with is combined with apoferritin. Yes, the iron from the hemoglobin is combined with apoferritin forming ferritin. Yes, iron with apoferritin forming ferritin, which is stored and reused for the further functions. Yes. Now another component is what? Globulin. As I said, globulin is a protein. Yes, so the protein, it is again restored and used for the further functions. And the third component is what? Porphyrin. So this porphyrin is converted into bilirubin. Yes, this converted into bilirubin and excreted out by the liver as bile. Yes, this bilirubin is excreted out by liver through bile. So, as I said, what is the lifespan of each RBC? It is about 120 days. After surviving 120 days, they attain senile period. They enter into spleen for the destruction and fate of RBC is achieved. Now, the cell membrane of RBC becomes more fragile. Yes, after that it becomes more fragile, which helps in easy destruction. Yes. Now, what is the functions of RBC? What are the functions of the RBC? There are main functions in which the most important function is transport of oxygen from lungs to tissues. Yes, RBC, it is a biconcaved, absence of nucleus, containing a pigment, a colored pigment, hemoglobin, which has the capacity. Yes, the hemoglobin containing iron component, obviously. So the iron in the hemoglobin along with completely, it has the ability to bind with oxygen. Yes, it has the ability to bind with oxygen, and which transports the oxygen from lungs to tissue. Yes, through capillaries. Yes. So what is the process involved here? The oxygen is bind to hemoglobin, the RBC, through diffusion. Yes, this is carried to the tissues. Yes, this is the main functions of the RBC. Now, what is the second function? It also involved in the transport of CO2 from tissues to lungs. Yes, obviously, transport of oxygen from lungs to tissue, as well as CO2 from tissues to lungs to filter. And also the blood has buffering action. Yes, it plays important role in buffering action, that is acid base balance. Yes. Now in blood group determination, yes, the RBC these are also involved in the determination of blood group. Yes, once again, fate of RBC. Yes, after attaining 120 days, after the complete survivability of the RBC, about 120 days, or the senile RBC enter into the spleen. As we know, spleen is the graveyard of RBC. So there the destruction of RBC takes place. After destruction, hemoglobin is released. The three main components of hemoglobin are iron, globulin and porphyrin. These three components are of hemoglobin. Now the iron is combined with apoferritin is formed into ferritin. Yes, which is restored and reused. And the globulin, it is a protein which is used for further functions. And porphyrin, it is converted into bilirubin, which is excreted out by liver as bile. Yes. And what are the functions? It helps in the transport of oxygen from lungs to tissues and carbon dioxide from tissues to lung, and it has a buffering action, that is acid base balance action. It maintains the pH, and it also helps in the determination of blood grouping. Yes, this is a complete discussion of RBC, erythrocyte, and we will discuss the process of synthesis of erythrocyte, that is erythropoiesis, in the next class. If you have any doubt, please do comment in the comment section. Like the video, support the channel and subscribe. Thank you.